we're really looking at is our mental health, our physical health, and seeing if there really is a correlation between this. Our mental health is really whether we're looking at our anxiety or depression or stuff like that, and we're starting to see if we're with people with higher anxiety and depression, we're more glued to our phones or any type of screen to see if people are more likely to go to our screens rather than talk to somebody. And physical health concerns, we're trying to see if our phones are what are putting us back. What's a rather go watch TV or play on our phones or something other than being more active. And we're trying to see if we're becoming more and more addicted to our technology to the point where we might end up like Wally riding around in wheelchairs.
Alright, so I'm going to go through our research question. We divided it into two parts. First one being how does screen time affect the overall health of young adults? So we have three sections of what we call overall health for this question, and then the first one being sleep. So we know how important sleep is for our overall health, and more screen time is something that can disturb our sleep. We know that our phones emits blue light, which is the sleep hormone in our body called melatonin, and blue light can slow down the production of this hormone and can disturb our sleep and make it harder to fall asleep and can give us worse quality sleep. And the second one, mental health. So we've seen that research suggests that people with more screen time can have more stress that can in the long run lead to anxiety and depression. And number three, physical health. There's research that directly correlates that physical health can lead to obesity, and in the long run, physical or more screen time can lead to less physical activity. Then we have the second research question, which is how can companies involved with the production of cell phones help eliminate issues in regards of screen time without hurting their own product? This one's a little tricky because companies like Apple is not going to go out and tell people to use their devices less, but they have moved in the right direction by adding screen time tracker on our phones, so we can go in and see our screen time, how much time we're using on our phone, and we can see a bunch of data such as average screen time weekly and how much time we're using on different apps on our phone. And then there is downtime on our phones. We can schedule a time where we want to use our phone. You can, for example, schedule from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and outside of this time we can't use our phones. So this can reduce our screen time. Next one. Then these are the hypotheses we developed before writing our paper. So with our survey and research going forward, we are going to see if we can find this true or false. Number one, screen time decreases sleep quality. Number two, cell phone users with 4 hours or more are more likely to have developmental disorders. And number three, more screen time leads to obesity and physical stress. Now Brady's going to take us through the survey plan.
Alright, so for our survey plan, we're going to be testing the hypothesis that Margaret just went over on college students, specifically Northern Michigan college students and possibly some Lower Michigan college students, but we're going to be looking at their sleep quality, mental health, obesity, and physical strains, mostly from your point of view, the user or the survey taker's point of view, and what they think and what they find on their phones. We're also going to be looking at the demographics of the survey takers, so their gender, age, and status, pretty much see if there are any trends depending on those. And then Apple's application screen time, which has been talked about already, will also be a big part of our survey. Just looking at exactly how much time somebody's using on certain apps or just overall. And then everything, I think it's important to say that everything in our survey will be kept confidential, and you can withdraw or skip a question at any time because sometimes it can be personal, asking about someone's mental health or their sleep. And I'm just going to go over our survey questions. So how many hours a day spent using electronics? Describe your sleep quality from poor to excellent, dissatisfied to satisfied. Rate your mental health, don't struggle to struggle, low to high stress, low to high anxiety. what kind of phone to use. Most people use iPhones, which is why screen time is Apple's application. But then also I looked up on Android or Google phones, there's a setting that you can also find your screen time in that if you don't have an iPhone. And then rank apps from most to least used. So the most used apps are social media, so like Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, even YouTube. Describe your physical health, poor to good, doesn't affect me to affect me. How many electronics do you use daily? And then how long before going to bed do you stop using your electronics, which really shows sleep quality.
So I'm going to be talking about our sample plan. We have determined our population as undergraduate college students in Michigan, and our sample is going to be drawn from undergraduate college students attending Northern Michigan University. So our age range is approximately 18 to 24 years of age, and you can see from educationaldata.org, 18 to 19, 20 to 21, and 22 to 24 are the three largest groups of college enrollment by age. So that's where our studies are going to be focused, but we all know that college isn't a one-size-fits-all. So any undergraduate student at NMU is welcome to take our survey. There are a couple of factors when we considered when we were trying to figure out why this age group. First is we are on a college campus, and so we have accessibility to a lot of people in this age group, just easier, and we could find more samples that way. But more importantly, when we were researching screen time and how it affects sleep and mental health and physical health, a lot of the research done on it so far has been on young children and how it affects young children. So we found this to be a really good opportunity to do some new research on a demographic that hasn't really been tapped into regarding screen time. For our margin of error, we have determined that we wanted to go along with 5%, which means that in order for our data to be representative of our population, we're going to need at least 300 samples and surveys. So to do this, we plan on keeping our survey open for 3 weeks or longer, as long as it takes to acquire those surveys, and any more than 300 would just further solidify our findings. Once those 3 weeks are up, or we get as many surveys as we need, we will close it, collect all of our data, put it together, and then analyze it. And Brady's going to wrap it up for us.
Yeah, so in conclusion, I just think our research is going to be a great opportunity to present students with some knowledge on some screen time information that they may not be familiar with. Klay Thompson, a Golden State Warrior basketball player, said that screen time is really an epidemic. So I think that our research will give us the ability to present information to people, give them some benefits and some realizations, hopefully, as to how they should be using their phone. So, questions?